And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Russell County Coaches Show. And I am here with the head football coach of the Russell County Warriors, Coach Dillon Griggs. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good, Richard. It's always good to see you, man.
It's been a long time. We have known each other for quite some time now. You got the job back in 2021, and if people don't realize now that you gave me an opportunity in broadcasting as your public address announcer, and I'm forever grateful for that. And what we have built at Georgia Alabama Sports Live, we are excited to be the exclusive home for all home games for Russell County football.
I know. I love you guys. Me and my wife watch on YouTube Live all the time, and we just love what you do for the local community and the schools as a whole. So we're excited.
All right, talk about going into your fifth year. You've had pretty much the same coaching staff from last season, with the exception of Nigel Lawrence. He is now the head football coach at Point University. Congratulations to Coach Lawrence. You've got Bryson Riggins, who he had a phenomenal season last year, passing over for 40 touchdowns. Just talk about the team that you're bringing back this year and pretty much playing the same schedule this year, just playing everybody you played last year, whether it's home or on the road. Just talk about this team this year for the 2025-2026 season.
I mean, obviously, going into the offseason, we knew that we were returning a wealth of our talent back from last year. I mean, obviously, it's never easy to replace people like Cameron Reese or DJ Brown or Denver Harper or Kenneth Dales of the world. But equally, it's easy. It feels good. I wouldn't say that it's easy. It feels good to know that you've got the Bryson Riggins and the Jabari Burnett's and the Eldrick Pages and the Todd Davises and of the world and the Quentin Lewises of the world. And so, this team is very much a lot like last team. We're going to be hard-nosed, fast, and physical, but, big thing is we're going to play sound, disciplined football. Our big emphasis is just becoming more physical and more sound between last season and this season. And so, we have pushed them. I mean, this summer was probably one of the more intense summers that I've been involved in. And the more and more that they've been in the process and in the program, the more and more you're able to do because they better understand what's going on. Because like at this point, every kid, all they know is this process and this program. And so it's been amplified. And, to say that we're not excited, I believe that we could still be a 40-point per game offense. And then equally, I think that, this could be probably the best defense that we've ever put out in the field since I've been here. I think Coach Dixon and that staff has just done a remarkable job this summer. 7-on-7 was really competitive. And so to say that we're excited about the 2025 football season would just be a massive understatement.
Absolutely. I am just so proud of the growth and development of Russell County football. From year one when you took over in 2021, going 6-4, had some injuries, but Bryson Riggins came in and he has just lit the world on fire. Everybody's talking about him, one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Alabama. So you had a historic season last year, getting to the second round of the playoffs, hosting a home playoff game. Talk about what you learned from last season and what you can build for this season as you get ready to face the challenges and trying to repeat what you guys accomplished last season.
Well, I think for me, last season is now. It's one thing I'll tell you that I've learned is not to take anything for granted. To enjoy every single second that you have, because we're lucky in this profession. We get to be around some really remarkable people, and a lot of times these kids don't realize they'll impact our lives just as much as we try to impact theirs. And so, last season just reiterated to me is to soak in the moment, enjoy every single second that I have with these young men, because I'm lucky to be around them. But, equally, as much as we love last season and as fun as it was, we're not necessarily like walking out every day and saying we need to match what we did last season. What we're trying to do every day is just be the best version of us. And whatever that will be is what it'll be. But what we know is that, winning is the worst friend you'll ever have. You can work hard for it. You can give her everything you got. You can be loyal to her, and you still may not get that win on a Friday. So what we know is that we got to come in, we got to do the right things, we got to be the best version of us, we got to push each other to be better. The iron sharpens iron thing has to be real in a program like this, and equally to not take anything for granted. So our big thing is consistency, and then amplifying that consistency, and what's that next step within your consistency that we can reach. And so right now, we're just trying to be the best Russell County football team that we could possibly be. We're not thinking about last week. We're not thinking about last season. We're thinking about the Eufaula Tigers this week. And, we're week to week and trying to just enjoy our time together in the brotherhood, because we know that our time is limited. So,
Well, we're definitely excited about this upcoming season. We're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we are going to dive into the season because Russell County is 1-0, and we are going to talk about that game as you are watching the Russell County Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers, for the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists, for long distance love, for the farsighted, nearsighted, for introverts and extroverts, for the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Welcome back to the Russell County Coaches Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, here with Coach Griggs. And Coach, you're a busy man. You were on Sports Visions, you were on WRBL, because Russell County Eufaula is the game of the week for WRBL, and you just had practice. But let's talk about that Carroll win. You got the 42-13 win against Carroll. Bryson Riggins threw 4 touchdown passes. It was close in that first half. I know you talked about that there was a lot of penalties, but what were some of the adjustments you made from the first half to the second half, and how you're able to go on the road and get a win over a talented Carroll team?
Well, for us, it really wasn't so much about the adjustments. We walked into the first half. We had some knuckleheads that had to sit out the first drive of the Carroll game. And, Coach Malone is really known over there at Carroll for just long drives and extending drives. I mean, he'll eat 5 minutes up on a play clock in a heartbeat. So part of what you saw was that first little series, you had some starters out on both sides of the ball. So the exciting thing is you got to see some young talent and kind of see where your future's going. But equally, that's you trying to set that standard and understanding, I don't care what we got going on, a standard is a standard. But for us in a game, it didn't start the first half like I wanted. We had a couple of things called back that really impacted that first half. But equally, what made me happy was, just getting them more mentally prepared. Like, in the past, like last year, we went into one game and we were up at halftime or tied. And it was like they felt like they had lost that game. Whereas like this year, we walked in at halftime. It was so intense. Like they did not want to go to halftime. We literally were like, hey, you got to sit down, get your Gatorade. We're going to make a couple adjustments here. But just to see their mental focus and to see that they took that personal. And I'll go back, Coach Malone over at Carroll, this is his second year there, and what he's done there in 2 years is just unbelievable. And that is a hard group of kids. Like, they play hard. It's a good style of football. But ultimately, for me, when you're talking about being an elite football program, and if that's the direction we're going to take this, we have to take those teams and we have to finish them. And we have to finish them in an elite fashion. And so to go out and score 21 points in the second half and to hold them to 0, I felt a lot better. I thought Eugene Robinson and Chris Lucas, both of our running backs, had an unbelievable game. Seth Dupins had 6 catches. Noah Sterling had several catches. Quentin Lewis and Jam did exactly what they've always done. The offensive line, I thought, played exceptionally well. I mean, we had 3 new starters up front this year, so kind of hold your breath. How will they handle the moment? We actually have a rotation right now where we got 7 offensive linemen playing. All 7 played well, and that's kudos to Coach Z and the job he's doing. But my favorite part of the game was watching the defense hit. I heard pads pop in that game. I have not heard it in a long, long time. And so just to see some of the hits and the intensity and that focus that you're looking for the defense, to see it and to hear it, man, it's my favorite part of the day. And, it just really makes me smile. And I'm just so excited to see what this defense is going to do this season, because I'm an offensive guy at heart, but I do believe that defense wins championships.
Yes.
And so, at the end of the day, to watch, like Lamontez Pollard, I mean, if everybody knew what this child had been through the last 3-4 years, and to watch him put on the show that he put on the other day, or Caden Jackson, to know his story from 9th grade to 12th grade and to see the show that he proceeded to put on, I mean, it just, it's your favorite part of coaching. It's not the win. It's watching kids taste success and being able to see that that doing the right things and being hard-nosed and understanding where your role is within your team or your family framework, to watch it go into fruition a little bit, man. Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, one thing that I love about Russell County football coaches, you like to run the football. You've had great running backs. Last year, Devin Brown got the majority of the carries, and he was even on special teams, ran a kickoff return back. That was the play of the game, because we had that game against Eufaula on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Now you have to go to Eufaula. Always a tough place to play. They have passionate fans. They are a 5A school. They went to the semifinals a couple of years ago. Coach Jarrell Jernigan won a Super Bowl with the Giants. But what are you looking forward to about playing Eufaula? And it was a close game last year at home. Do you feel that you match up well with a very talented Eufaula team, and you're going in on the road in week 2 and having a tough opponent in the Eufaula Tigers?
Do I think we match up well? Yeah, I think we can match up well with anybody. My big thing is in Coach Jernigan. I've known Coach. We went to Troy together.
Okay.
I was a part of the football program when his senior year. Me and Coach Jernigan talk weekly on the phone. He's one of my best friends in the whole world. Like, I love him to death. And watching the film, it's the exact same Eufaula team that you've always seen. Hard nosed, going to hit you in the mouth, smash mouth football, and you're going to have to bring it for 4 quarters. And I'll tell you, number 1 and number 0 are just as good of any players that I've ever seen in my entire career. Yeah. Up front on the offensive line, they are massive. The defense flows to the ball so fast. So for us, we feel like we match up well, but equally we know that if you're going to walk into Eufaula High School Stadium and you're going to try to come up with a W, you're going to have to play a high level of football, and you're going to have to eliminate the mistakes. And so for me, I feel like this game could go down to the last drive. I really, really, really do.
Yeah.
I think this is probably one of the better Eufaula teams that I've seen in the last 4 years. So we're just going to go in there. I'm so excited. I've never got to coach in Eufaula Stadium. I've been there. I'm a Wiregrass kid at heart. That's where I grew up in the Wiregrass area. But to actually get to coach in that atmosphere and know that that's a blue blood, that is a traditional power in the state of Alabama. Even when you think about the coaches, Charles Kelly coached there. He's the head coach of Jacksonville State. Shane Wasden coached there. Yeah. Rush Probst coached there. Jamie Dubose coached there. Eufaula is a storied program, and Coach Jernigan is just another coach that's going to be a part of that storied program. And so, we're going to go out there and try to give them the best 4 quarters that we can.
Yeah, it's going to be an electric atmosphere down there. I'm already predicting the fans are definitely going to make that trip. It's not that far down there. It used to be a rivalry. They used to be in the same region with you guys, but hopefully, Coach, you guys can come out and get a win and be 2-0 going into the home opener. I do want to talk about the home opener. I don't want to get it too ahead of myself, but September 5th, Wetumpka. It's going to be on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and I just want to thank Brad Beasley because he's been helping us out trying to get that broadcast, and we're excited about being at the county for the home opener against Wetumpka. And most importantly, it's a region game. It's your first region game, and we talked about on Sports Visions this morning how tough this region is with Wetumpka, Stanhope Elmore, Pike Road, Park Crossing, Percy Julian, Rehoboth. When you look at the region, and you guys, finished second in the region last year behind Pike Road, what is it going to take for this team to win the region? Even though there's a lot of tough opponents, but you're looking at all the teams that you have to face in this region. What are some steps that you want to work on to try to win this region?
I still think it just goes back to being a week-by-week team and trying to be the best version of you. And the goal every Sunday just has to be 1-0. We can't think about Pike Road until we beat Wetumpka, Percy Julian, Stanhope,
right,
and all those other schools. But equally, it goes back to, there's just no weeks off. You can't, sometimes in a schedule, you can schedule to where, we're going to work this team this week, but we can also look a little ahead. Well, it's not there in this schedule at all. And so just to know that you're playing powerhouses. We played Percy Julian, who was Robert E. Lee, in the semifinals. in 18 when I was at Central. We beat them the last 10 seconds of the game. Park Crossing, I mean, think about all the great players that have come out of that program.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you got Cam, who plays for the Cincinnati Bengals, who used to be the quarterback over at Cam Taylor. You know, Wetumpka has always been Wetumpka and will always be Wetumpka. And Bear Woods, you know, I went to Troy. Bear was a great friend of mine. He helped me get on staff at Troy. And, you know, I mean, everything that Bear touches is a hard-nosed physical football team, because that's the type of player he was. And he's so disciplined as a person, it literally, you can see him within his football team. So, you know, we know, like, when we're playing with Tumpkas of the world, like, it goes back to, like, Eufaula. Like, there's so many blue bloods in this schedule and so many championship level programs. Like, we just don't have time to take anything for granted or to really overly soak in the moment, because if we soak too long in that moment, then we're not going to be prepared for the next moment. And so, you know, this is a tough schedule. You know, the only way that we can get back and to really get over the hump is to continue to grow from where we were last year. And that's equally why I'm excited about the defense. We're going to have a better style of play top to bottom defensively in order to continue to make that stride to where you're talking about championship level programs. And so, you know, we'll see. You know, we got 19 seniors starting this year. You know, I feel like if we've ever had a chance this year, it'll be this year. But equally, you know, like, Pike Road is loaded. I mean, when you look at their linebacker core, they got a West Virginia committed middle linebacker. They got a Tennessee committed middle linebacker. They got that Kennesaw State commit that plays receiver and safety and DB and Wildcat quarterback. Their quarterback the other day, I watched the Prattville game. I mean, dude just killed it. And so, you know, the only way we're going to get there is, one, not to look ahead, and then two, to continue to get better every week and realize that it's not good enough ever until the day that we lift that blue map. And then at that point, we got about a week and you got to start to the next one.
Absolutely. Coach, I'm always excited about Russell County football. Good luck against Eufaula this Friday, and we look forward to having you back on the Russell County Coaches Show.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. That is head coach of the Russell County Warriors, Coach Dillon Griggs. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the Russell County Coaches Show. We'll be back at a later date, as we will have multiple Russell County coaches on here. So stay tuned, look at the schedule, and we will catch you next time here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.